Lady Gaga and Lord Gaga.
We always sound like we are underwater.
Check out this guy. He's got a metal beard.
Wait, I don't even know what that is. What
something,
is that?
something, and we are really weird.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. As always, I'm Robbie. This is Kyle. Kyle, how are you? Good to see you.
Doing pretty good. I literally had the most epic
Doing pretty
meal.
well.
Really, Robbie? Yeah, okay, fine. Pretty well. You know what? It's Thursday night. I'm not even going to go on the whole vocabulary, grammar, whatever. But anyways,
sorry.
yeah, pretty well. You better be... No, that's fine. You're right. I'm a teacher. This is really sad.
Yeah.
You know?
Hopefully your employer isn't watching this right now. But anyway, so tonight we have a special guest who you may recognize as this is her, I think, fourth appearance so far, or something like that. Yeah, doing a little dab. My sister Sarah is back. Sarah, welcome back. Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Doing well. Oh, boy. So for tonight's episode, what we wanted to talk about was, you know, in sports-related movies, there's, like, the big event. Like, there's the game within the movie, like, the big climactic final showdown, or even just, like, games within the movie, just in general. I mean, depending on the sport, you can have several games in one movie. So we kind of wanted to talk about some of the more memorable games within sports movies, from the sports-related movies that we have seen over the years. And there's a lot. There are a lot of choices that we can go with here. So we're going to try our best to sort of narrow it down as best we can, and let's just jump right into it, people. Just really jump right into it. Sarah, since you're on the special guest, why don't you kick us off? What are some of the games within movies that you remember most? It can really be from
Space
anything.
Jam.
That's a good one.
Space, 2 words. Space Jam. The most legendary cinematic masterpiece of my time. Who was
good.
who was
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, wow. Michael Jordan?
Must have been,
Michael Jordan? The
And
Looney Tunes?
and Aliens.
Aliens? It does not get better than that.
Danny DeVito's in it, too. He's one of the ones.
And then
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Bill Murray.
Larry Bird was in it. I mean, all the NBA greats were in it. It was pretty awesome.
It is the best movie to come out of the
Now, out of that,
1990s?
yeah, like mid
96.
late 96. Thank you. Yeah. Now, obviously, the game that is sort of the big game in that movie is the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan versus the Monstars.
The Monstars, get it?
Yeah. So, that game, like, that was just very interesting because for those of you who don't know, if you haven't
It's
watched
very realistic.
Space Jam,
Well, don't ruin it. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert coming. Mini spoiler alert. Basically, the Monstars suck up NBA players' powers and use it to play in a
Take their
band.
talent.
Take their talent, suck up NBA players' talent.
That'd be cool if they had powers, though. Just a side note.
Well, talent, powers, something like that.
Same difference.
And basically use it to play in a basketball game against the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan, and basically if the Looney Tunes lose, they become slaves. And I won't tell you who wins. You're going to have to watch that for yourself. But what's out of that game, again, without getting anything away, what sort of stood out to you most from that particular game
I
that
just
you
love
remember?
Space Jam.
Yeah, it is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
Any other sports-related movie games come to mind?
Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There are a lot of games in that. I mean, a lot of exciting football games for the Titans. It's big, it's a sort of story of, town comes together and, breaking the racial barrier and, high school football and...
Also a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best. He's like the best part of every movie he's in, so obviously he's definitely the best part of that one as well.
Yeah. No, Denzel could be in any movie and make it...
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, make it...
Even if it's like Batman and Robin 2 with like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze, he would still make the movie amazing.
Yeah.
Even though no one would probably see it, but...
Can you imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger as a sports coach?
No.
He'd be like, get down, give me 10.
I mean, it would be pretty entertaining to watch. I would totally watch that. Get to the chopper! Coach, there's no helicopter. Just keep running.
The Sandlot.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sandlot.
Which I saw for the first time last year.
Wow.
Cool. Nice.
That was a good one.
When they're playing the Little Leaguers and they kill them.
Yeah.
Robbie, there's no killing in that movie, I don't think.
You know what?
No murder
fine.
in that.
Yes. No Little Leaguers were harmed in the making of that movie.
Yeah, that'd be a little sad, because they're only kids,
Yeah. Any others?
No.
Okay. Those are three really good ones.
Yeah, instant classics.
Yeah. Kyle, how about let's throw it over to you now.
Well, so
I know you came prepared. For
I
this one.
did come prepared. Yes.
You know Kyle is really into a topic when he shows up with a legit list on his phone.
A little bit. Just to kind of get me going with that. So I wanted to start off with I really like the Endgame to Dodgeball, just because it was really funny and epic at the same time.
Yeah. Was the tag of the movie the biggest underdog story ever told or something like that?
Yeah, they call it a true underdog.
Story. Yes.
Yeah, it was just a good movie. It was literally an underdog story, and there's actually the funny fact about that was the movie actually ended in two different ways. So the way we got in the theaters, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm just gonna spoil everything. I apologize. So if you really want to see the movie, then just click out of the video temporarily, watch the movie, then come right back, right? So spoiler alert, in the theatrical version, they win. They defeat. So basically, the whole story is it's about these guys, the average Joe Jim, and who gets taken over by Globo Jim across the street. So they end up Globo Jim's trying to buy their space because it is really fancy, rich gym and everything. And Ben Stiller is like the leader of Globo Gym, so he's so they decide, like Vince Vaughn, the leader of the Average Joe's Gym, decides to face them off in a dodgeball match to see who gets the space. And in the theatrical version, the Average Joe team wins. They defeat Globo Gym and they get to keep their space and everything. But in the alternate ending, Globo Gym actually just defeats them. In fact, that scene, because this wasn't the original cut where Globo Gym hits the last person out, that was actually supposed to be the ending of the movie. The movie was just supposed to cut to them all being disappointed, and then the credits were supposed to roll.
No, but hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought, again, major spoiler alert here, but I have to get this for my own peace of mind. I thought Vince Vaughn's character, even though that they lost at the end of the movie, then bought shares in Ben Stiller's gym.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then he became the owner of
both
gyms.
Yes, you're right. He did. You're right. So that was the original ending, but in the alternate ending, they just completely lose everything. It's actually kind of sad because the movie is really funny throughout, and then the director originally was like, no, we're gonna make this I guess they were gonna call it an underdog story because the underdogs don't really always win. So it was gonna be kind of a sad ending, but I'm glad they actually changed it to the ending that came out in theater. So that was good.
Yeah.
Let's see, another movie. I want to talk a little bit about The Natural. Has anyone ever seen The Natural?
I have seen The Natural.
No.
Oh,
I saw it a long time ago, but I have seen it.
Yeah, it's an old movie. Well, oldish. It came out in the 80s, so It's basically about this baseball player who he just has a really tough life. And the movie, like, long story short, the movie ends with him playing, like, literally the game of his life. Like, his girlfriend's watching and everything. Glenn Close plays the girlfriend. And the main baseball player, that's Robert Redford. So that's Robert Redford in his slightly younger years. And the game is just so epic. The way they shoot the game. Now, spoiler alert, I'm going to just let you know what happens. So in the movie, he actually hits the game-winning home run. And it's just so... The way they film it is just incredible. Like, it's very, like, they do it all in slow motion. You see the baseball fly up in the air and it hits the lights. And
I remember, like,
right?
there's literally, like, the lights go, like, flash off.
Oh, yeah, lights explode. It's so unrealistic. Like, it would never happen in real life, but it's just great because, like, it's classic.
Oh, really?
Like,
You don't go to a baseball game and just somebody hits the ball and it just destroys all the lights?
Oh, yeah,
that doesn't happen every single night?
Of course it does. It happens every Red Sox game.
Yeah,
You all know
exactly,
that.
yeah.
And, of course, the theme music, it goes da-da, da-da-da. He does, like, the slow-motion run while the sparks are falling down. It's just got this kind of really nice visual flair, and, like, even the coach has this great shot where the coach is looking. And he always believed in him, and you see him, like, the glasses are reflecting the shards of light and everything. It's just got some cool imagery that I really appreciate a lot. So definitely one of the best filmed endings to a movie. One of the best filmed games. And of course the end fight for Creed and Rocky. I put them kind of equal because they both kind of end the same way.
Yeah.
Spoiler again. Both protagonists. Rocky in the original Rocky, he actually loses to his to Apollo Creed, which was his opponent for that movie. And same with years later in the movie Creed, Rocky actually is training Apollo's son, Adonis Creed, and during the last fight of that game, he loses too. So they both kind of reflect each other. So that's why I kind of put them on pretty equal footing on the list. So I just thought it was interesting. The fights were filmed really well. It was basically filmed like you're pretty much there, like in the middle of the fight at that point. And it felt really intense. And even though they lost, it really just you still kind of got this like really good feeling. It was kind of a good like underdog story as well, I thought. So I thought that was pretty cool in both cases. So
Nice.
Yeah, and let's see, really quickly, I also liked, of course, the ending to, I love the ending to Happy Gilmore.
That was a pretty cool one, yeah.
It wasn't like super intense, because, it's an Adam Sandler movie, it's a comedy, but it was just really fun. They found a really, because I know how you guys aren't like the most interested in golf, but I thought they found a really fun way to kind of showcase a final golf match in a movie. So, like, of course, like he turns the whole mini like this. At one point, spoiler again, this giant tower just kind of falls out of nowhere towards the last hole. So Happy has to like hit the.
I remember that. Yeah.
He has to hit the ball into the hole, even though there's like a big obstruction blocking it. So it's just funny how they kind of. How the ball ricochets and ends up hitting the hole and one and everything. But no, I thought that was a good movie. Definitely one of Adam Sandler's best movies. Is one of his best roles. So and then I think I'm gonna end it with because I could talk all day about this. So
we could just do a whole episode, literally you just reviewing sports movies and just me sitting here just doing nothing.
Yeah, we'll just do that now, Shane. I wouldn't do that to you. But
Rant alert!
Wait, what day is it now? It's been a week? How is this computer still working?
It's been years.
We've literally missed an entire year of work.
Rob, your beard looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Sarah, I'm sorry, but you can't graduate college because you literally spent the whole last year on this couch.
Yeah, you're obligated to stay on the show for the year-long episode. I can't even say it was J-Face.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine someone filming an episode for a year.
Like iCarly's 50th web show spectacular.
Did that go for a whole year?
No, she went for like 24 hours or something.
Oh,
like
wait, what?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Wait,
they say to wait for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Really? Man, poor girl. I'd be passed out.
24 hours isn't even that hard.
No.
I feel like.
I've heard of like.
Was it 24 hours? Now I'm gonna look it up.
I heard of like an actual like real life TV show host who once for episode bit stayed up for 36 hours straight.
Wow. Oof. At that point, I'd pass out. I'd just fall asleep at the computer.
Yeah. Jack, Chris Gethard show. Anyway, sorry, continue.
Good show. So the last one I wanted to end on was one of my favorite racing movies, Talladega Nights. Now that's another really... Have you guys seen Talladega Nights?
I have not.
I've heard of it.
You haven't
I've heard of it.
Oh, I don't know if I should spoil it then.
Sorry, go for it, because I probably won't see it, so...
Okay, well, it's a Will Ferrell movie, so if you guys like Will
I
Ferrell...
know who's in the movie. Ricky Bobby.
I know.
Ricky Bobby.
It was not the 50th Web Show Spectacular, I was wrong. But they were trying to beat a world record and go for 24 hours and 8 minutes or something like that.
Oh, really?
And they just, like, really were suffering. And if I could stay up for, like, 48 hours for sure.
Oh, Sarah, you should get on that, Sarah. You should do it. Sarah's
It's just like
50th.
midnight, from one day to midnight to another day. Like
48 hours?
No, like 24 hours. I feel like that's so easy. Anyways, Talladega.
Yeah, it's because you're in college, Sarah. Robbie, I'd be passed out. Like
I would be dead. Yeah, I would probably be
halfway through.
dead. Yeah, just conk out.
But so yeah, Talladega Nights. It's a really good movie if you ever get the chance to see it. It's just a funny like Will Ferrell movie where he's like this famous racer, Ricky Bobby, and he's racing with his friend. Who's the guy that John C. Reilly plays? I forget his name.
No idea.
But their whole thing is, they have a secret handshake, shake and bake, and everything. And just go watch it. And so basically, the whole movie, he's facing off against this famed French racer that comes in, played by Sacha Baron Cohen, and he's hysterical too. I love Sacha Baron Cohen.
Also from the movie The Dictator and Borat, obviously.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ali G show as well. Yep.
Very nice. How much?
And it's just funny because he has this like really like intentionally bad French accent the whole movie. Ricky Bobby, that's how he sounds like. So basically, the movie ends with this epic race where you have Ricky Bobby, his friend, and then the French guy all racing together. And basically what happens is, spoiler alert, basically Ricky Bobby's friend wins, because all the other racers get into this really bad, this really crazy over the top car crash, and basically what happens is Will Ferrell's Ricky Bobby and the French guy, both their cars get really badly destroyed. So, and they're just like they're like several feet away from the finish line. So they decide to like hoof it the rest of the way. So, so they just have this like crazy like on foot race the rest of the time, and it's actually pretty funny. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much like that. Yeah, they play like some '80s song, and it's just. But no, it was good. And the racing scenes in general were actually really well filmed. I was really surprised because it being a comedy, I didn't think that they would focus that much on the racing part of it. But the racing was actually they really got it down to a T. I think like they even got you even get to see them like taking the car like the tires apart, doing the whole tire change like you'd see in legit races, and so yeah, that was pretty cool. So definitely watch it. So I'm done with my rant. So rant over.
Well, thank you. That was very well done.
Thank you.
I learned a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm glad
got some good flashbacks there. But yeah, so for mine, there's a lot. There's a lot of options, obviously, out there. So I kind of whittled it down as we were talking here to a few that that really sort of stand out for me. The first one is the movie Rookie of the Year. For those of you who don't remember, this kid, Henry Rowan Gardner, growing up in Chicago, has this, like, arm injury, and it causes him, like, once he gets his cast off to, like, be able to throw a baseball really, really hard, and so he ends up pitching for the Chicago Cubs. And then, again, this is major spoiler alerts are about to be coming, so if you haven't seen this movie, turn it off right now.
Or pause, go watch the movie, and then come back.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So basically what happens is, like, he pitches for the Cubs, and the last game it's, like, to go to the World Series, and they're playing the Mets, and he goes out for, like, the last inning of the game, and he, like, slips and falls, and thus, like, he can't throw hard anymore, So like him and his team have to like resort to like sort of trickery to like get through the inning, and he ends up facing like this really big, strong guy for like the last batter, and ends up striking him out to win the game. I just thought that was really cool, and just like
Nice.
yeah, the Cubs make it to the World Series, and it just it was just a really, I mean, just that whole movie in general was great. But I thought the last game was like very noteworthy, just because it's like sort of brings it all together, and they win. The next movie is The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid plays. It's actually based on a true story. He plays a high school baseball coach named Jim Morris in Texas, who finds that he can still throw over 90 miles an hour, and his team like dares him like if they win the districts, then he has to try out for the major leagues. And so that game that I want to talk about is that district championship game where they're playing like the top team in the league, and like they're down the late innings, and they come back and end up like winning the game. And so he has to try out, and just like that game just sort of like it's like one of those baseball sort of entities where it's like pitcher versus batter, and it's like he ends up striking him out, and they win the game, and they're all going crazy, and it's good times.
That's good.
Next movie I want to talk about is The Longest Yard.
Ooh.
With Adam Sandler, the newer one. I know, yeah, there are two of them, but basically,
and Burt Reynolds in both.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Adam Sandler goes to prison. He's a washed-up football quarterback that goes to prison, and while in prison, the warden basically orders him to assemble a football team to compete against the guards in like an exhibition game. And so he brings together like all the convicts to play in a game against the guards. And then, like, in the game, like, they get down, and, like, the warden threatens to, like, charge him with murder, so he starts to, like, throw the game, but then he, like, decides against it, and they make this epic comeback, and they end up winning and beating the guards, and then the warden almost has him shot at the very end, but, yeah, it was... And, like, Nellie's in it, Michael Irvin's in it, as you said, Burt Reynolds is in it. There's just a lot of... Bill Romanowski, who used to play in the NFL, is in it. Stone Cold Steve Austin is in it.
Yeah, he's one of the guards, right?
Yeah, he's one of the guards. And then the guy who's the warden is the same guy that played, like, the farmer and Babe.
Oh, James Cromwell. Yeah, that guy's the best.
Yeah, so he plays the warden. Kind of like...
Really Confidential. That was good.
So, yeah, he... the prisoners end up winning, and it's very epic.
Yeah, that was a good game.
The Longest Yard.
I stopped listening because I was reading about world records of people going very long amounts of time without sleep.
Oh.
The longest is 11 days and 15 minutes.
Wow. Did that person, like, take cocaine every day?
No, you can't. It's like the record has to be set without taking any sort of stimulant.
How do you stay awake for 11 hours or 11 days straight?
11 hours?
We should...
How do you stay awake for 11 hours?
Oh, God.
It's too much.
11 hours. I mean, 11 days. And he was fine. He suffered no long-term physical or psychological effects.
Wow.
Psychological? That's a word.
Yeah.
I'm a psychology major.
Wow.
But anyway, back to the
Longest Yard.
No, back to the film. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, back to the material. The next movie that I wanted to go over is actually sort of 3 movies in one. The Mighty Ducks series.
Oh.
D1, D2, and D3. Because all 3 have, like, epic games at the end. Like, in the first movie, like, the Ducks are facing the Hawks, and it comes down to a penalty shot, and, like, they score the game-winning goal, and it's awesome. And then in D2, they're Team USA, and they're facing Iceland in the Junior Goodwill Games, like the gold medal game. And again, they win in a shootout. There seems to be a theme going on here. And then and then in the third one, they're like the Ducks, but they're like a prep school, and they're like the JV team, and they go up against the varsity, and like it's a 0-0 game, and then Goldberg, who usually is the goalie, is like playing offense, and then he scores the game-winning goal, and then like
Pretty cool.
the game, they're all celebrating, and then a bunch of them are like making out with other people. Like three of the main characters really end that movie like in kissing scenes. So there was
I've
that.
never seen those movies. I got
You should go watch The Mighty Ducks. It's pretty good stuff. So I got two more.
Okay.
Second to last one I want to go over is the movie Miracle.
Kurt Russell.
I think you can't have an episode like this without discussing Miracle and that game against the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Where they win. It's like the Miracle on Ice. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! And like, they're...
What team do you play for?
USA. And they win and everybody's just so happy and like, Kurt Russell just like, Herb Brooks' character like can't believe it and it's like the biggest upset like of all time.
Yeah, that was a great game.
And then the last one is the movie Major League 2. With Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, I was about to say Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen. Again, for those who haven't seen it, Charlie Sheen's character Rick Vaughn pitches for the Cleveland Indians, and they're kind of like a down their luck team. But then they have like an amazing season, and like basically the last game they're playing the White Sox in like the playoffs for the pennant, and Rick Vaughn like he's kind of had a down year. Because he's like known as this like wild thing, like sort of shut down epic all-star closer, but then he like sort of was down on his luck. But then like at the end of the game, he comes in and like faces an old teammate of his that now he really doesn't like, and then he strikes him out, and they win, and it was amazing.
Nice.
And wild thing, you make my heart sing. Yeah, that was a pretty good movie.
Baseball movies, gotta love them.
Yeah, I know a lot of mine were baseball movies, but baseball's always been kind of my favorite sport.
Hey,
So,
there you
and
go.
there were a lot more I could have done, but like I said, I wanted to sort of narrow it down. To,
I think we covered. I think the three of us covered.
I think we covered a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
I think we definitely did.
Have some good ground.
So now, as we sort of start to wrap things up here, we're gonna start a new little segment on the show. We've kind of been doing this the last couple of episodes, but I want to kind of like make it official, at least for the time being, segment as of now. That's we're going to throw it to Kyle here for an update on preschool gym class.
Oh, well, boy. So, stories from the preschool gym class. Oh,
Yes.
man. So
That's the topic of discussion.
No, that's the segment. Because Kyle's a preschool teacher. They have gym class.
And it's kind of amusing.
My
It's-
preschoolers just have gym class.
Yeah, it's crazy because usually you think gym class like that would be associated for like elementary and up, but no, we have a preschool gym class, and yes, it's about as funny as you can imagine. It's hysterical. It's literally like.
So
like
what
watching Seinfeld.
has happened? What has happened recently?
So recently we had them do. Oh man, it was so funny. So we had them. We had them do like a round of actually duck, duck, goose. So we teach them how to like run and like throw the ball and everything. Like I told you, like we did hockey in the past, but this time no, we did an epic game of duck, duck, goose. So epic that the kids like didn't even really know where to run, and they never really stopped. So every time there'd be a kid that would pick like, okay, duck, duck. They get the kind of the basic concept of the game, but when they pick the kid to run to chase them, they say goose, and then they keep running in circles and they don't ever stop. They just keep running. So we have to remind them, okay, you can sit down now. You don't have to keep going. So it's pretty funny. It's amusing. And then there's one kid. So she keeps going like duck, duck, and she goes silly goose, and then like it just takes off. Oh man, it's just a whole other world when you work with preschoolers. So yeah, it's just so yeah. That was our that was pretty. Yeah, this week we kind of mixed duck, duck, goose, and we also we had them play They don't play a little basketball, so they don't really actually like shoot the hoops or anything because they can't even reach the hoops. So
yeah, I was about to say.
basically, what they do is they actually so they like to pretend the basketballs are like little babies. So then they like to carry them around the gym, and then they pretend like take care of it and feed it. And I'm like, okay, that's something you can do. It's like, all right, hey, whatever works for you.
They're being creative, you know.
They
They're
are.
using their imagination.
They do everything.
Don't stifle their creativity.
Seriously, yeah. And I mean, the other day they were also hiding a bunch of hockey sticks under the bench because apparently that's where the hockey sticks live. They live under the bench for whatever reason. So yeah, so it's just yeah, that's what they do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Good stuff as always.
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to start to really wrap things up here with the final portion of our episodes, our monologues, as we like to call them. Sarah, you got anything you want to discuss as we wrap up here? Anything at all?
When I worked in a preschool, on my first day, one of my kids came up to me, pointed to my nose ring, and went, "Who did that to your face?" And I said, "I did." And then they were like, "Okay," and then just walked away. So that's my preschool story.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
You may have scarred a preschooler, but that's okay. No,
they seemed she really accepted it.
Yeah.
Kidding, obviously.
It's like, all right, cool.
Cool.
Well, watching like 20 years, you're gonna see them and like they're gonna have the yeah.
Well, so Sarah, I have to ask you, as long as you're here, since you are since you like basketball, what do you think of the Celtics beating the Cavaliers
They're playing again tonight, right?
tomorrow? Do you think they're gonna win tomorrow and go to the finals?
If they don't, they should prepare to catch these hands. But yeah, I hope they do. I feel like we perform better at home than we do when we're away, so that gives us kind of an advantage.
True. There's, because the Celtics right now are up 3-2. They play tomorrow in Cleveland, and then if they lose that, they play Game 7 in Boston on Sunday. But I'm hoping they win tomorrow and don't have to play in Boston on Sunday. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We're really not good when we're away.
True. Kyle, you got anything for us this week in terms of monologue?
Oh, this week, well, it's a little dry, unfortunately, tonight, so I'm just gonna, I guess, just root for the Celtics. Go Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Robbie?
Yeah, thank you. I do actually have a little something. A little history was made in the NHL playoffs. No, it has nothing to do with the Bruins. The Las Vegas Golden Knights became the first ever NHL expansion team to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals by winning their Western Conference Final Series against the Winnipeg Jets. So they were going to be facing the Washington Capitals in the Stanley Cup Finals beginning on Monday. So just wanted to say good luck to the Golden Knights and congratulations on making history. And we'll be pulling for you to make some more come starting on Monday.
Nice.
So so that's going to wrap it up.
If you've made it to the end of this video, comment #turnup in the comment section.
Not to be confused with turnips.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you.
That's what the YouTubers say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can't do that in the credits, but hey.
And don't forget to join our notification squad.
Turn on your notifications for
our AK1
notification.
I think literally we have one channel that does notifications. It's my personal YouTube channel that does notifications.
Baby steps, Robbie. Baby steps.
All right. Well, Sarah, thank you once again for coming on. Always a pleasure having you. For Sarah and for Kyle, I'm Robbie signing off for this edition of On a Couch Talking Sports. We will see you next time on a Couch Talking Sports. Good night, everybody. So on tonight's episode of On Couch Talking Sports, it's just me. Kyle is nowhere to be found. Just ignore the fact that the camera's at an angle right now. Just ignore the set of hands that's coming into frame. There's not actually a person there. It's just a hand. It's On a Couch Talking Sports featuring Robbie and the hand, and half of a body. Hey, wait a minute! What are you doing here? Get out of here!